Great stuff there. And we're winding down here on time, but and this next question could be a whole nother podcast in and of itself, but I still think it's worth diving into just briefly here. When it comes to breaking up a training program for, let's say, somebody who is in between 30 and 40, and they basically look the way they want to look. Like maybe they would like to lose 5 to 10 pounds, but they basically look the way they want to look, but they just want to continue to perform well. They want to continue to feel well. They want to continue to set themselves up for success for future health and performance, longevity and whatnot. How do you think about breaking up a training program across like the week with including mobility, strength, power, hypertrophy, cardio, and conditioning? Again, I know this is like a huge question, but I would still love to hear, and I know everybody else would love to hear at least a quick take on that.
Yeah, let's talk about frequency. So if you're training 2 to 3 days per week, you can add all those 6 physical characteristics in: power, strength, hypertrophy, cardio and conditioning, mobility, and athleticism. Those can be trained all days, 2 to 3 days per week, and that's going to be more full body emphasis. As soon as you get up to like 4 days, you can start to unlock whether you want to be training upper lower pattern splits. So squat hinge lunge on 2 days, and then push pull and some sort of grip work on the opposite days. That's a super cool way to do it. But I tend to get, if I have 4+ times per week, 5, 6, 7+ times per week, I tend to split the strength and hypertrophy work, the more traditional strength training, from the athleticism, the mobility, and the cardio and conditioning. I like to use athleticism, mobility, cardio, and conditioning as restorative-based secondary sessions that are lower in intensity, but that can actually restore in terms of active recovery. So that's the way that I personally split it up. A lot of my programs are set up is that if you give me 4+ times per week, we're going to have strength training and we're going to have your cardio on the off days to actually facilitate better gains in strength.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. Just to regurgitate that on the over 4 days standpoint, you have basically some strength and hypertrophy days, and then some days where you think mobility, athleticism, cardio, and conditioning all mixed in there.
Yes, correct.
Love it. Love it. I think last thing I'll maybe ask is, what is your, how important is cooling down? How important is stretching after the workout, mobility after the workout, breaking back into the parasympathetic system post-workout? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, a little bit goes a long way. Today, we've never been more stressed in our Western society than we ever have been in human history. Like, we are stressed the F out. And the worst thing that we can possibly do is redline our systems with a kick-ass training session, and then 27 minutes later, without ever coming down off that peak, going into another stressful business meeting, or going home to your 4 kids, or being redlined for the rest of your day, 24 hours, 48 hours after training. That's what ends up happening to people. And then they go, man, I really feel like shit because that was a tough training session. Maybe it was, but maybe you just didn't restore your recovered state before you walked out. A non-negotiable for pain-free performance is adding 2 to 5 minutes in a 3-phase cool down. We go into deep parasympathetic breathing for 1 to 2 minutes. That's closing your eyes, laying on the ground in a strategic position, breathing deep. After that, we go 1 to 2 minutes on a big foam rolling area. So if it was leg day, you're going to hit your quads, your glutes, your hamstrings. If it's an upper body day, you're going to get into your T-spine, lats, and pecs. And you're going to do slow, rhythmical rolls on the foam roller. And then from there, we're going to hold a 1-minute stretch, and we're going to focus in on breathing deep while we stretch these areas. And that makes people feel euphoric after. It sounds like bullshit. It sounds like, oh man, I just want to get the hell out of there after I'm training. But the results, instantaneous results. The delayed gratification doesn't need to happen. Like, you feel the difference instantly. Once you do it, you'll never give up. And I learned this the hard way. 2 years ago, I had a training team and I pulled out our 3-phase cool down from a training block. And people instantly were just like, where is it? I need to breathe. I need to stretch. I need to do my 1 minute of lat foam rolling. And people were like busting down the doors on email and messenger saying, where the hell did it go? And I worked it in, and it's never left since, because that's the experience that people have. They depend on feeling good. And the best thing that we could possibly do for a client or for yourself is to leave the gym feeling better than when you came in. That's how you gain consistency, and that's how you gain a physical practice that can transcend your lifestyle.
Amen to that. Amen to that.